Hey there, Python here. This is my 200th video. Yay! That's certainly something. I didn't think I'd ever get here. But recently I was doing like a binge of the 100 Girlfriends manga. Here's like a picture of it to the side if you don't know what that is. But pretty much, it's like over 200 plus chapters right now, and because I kept up with that recently, and I've read like, I'm like in the 200 chapters or so, I thought, okay, I guess for my 200th video, it'd be cute if I would just rank every single girlfriend in this tier list, as I have on Twitter promised that I would do this. So, okay, quite a lot of characters to talk about here, and I have quite a few things to say about some of them. So let's go ahead and get started. So here I found this on the tier list website. We go from 1 heart all the way to 6 hearts. They're not like lettered or anything, because I simply like all the characters. I don't want to put like a letter grade on them or anything. So this, if you were hoping for me to like rank anybody in terms of like my dislike of them, this ain't the video for you. So okay. Oh, and also I have my face on here, so hi. Sorry to put my ugly mug on here, but okay. they really put God here first. Okay, let's go ahead and put start. Okay, so God. Okay, so he's pretty much the one that caused all this. And with Rentaro went to him and to like the love shrine and asked for a soulmate after being rejected like 100 times. So the God, instead of giving him 1, accidentally made it 100. So this whole absolutely bonkers series is all thanks to him. Whether that's a good thing or not, I guess they all think it's a good thing if the girlfriends knew what actually happened. But of course, Rentaro at this point does think it's a good thing, although he still holds a huge grudge against them. He doesn't do much, honestly, besides just like rarely appear like in a handful of chapters here and there to make some kind of quip on Rentaro, make some kind of quick joke, meta joke in terms of like the series itself. It has kind of gotten funnier as time goes on, especially the chapter where like Rentaro earned like the gum fruit powers, and the god came like in to save him by undoing the powers and everything. Bit of a funny moment there, but you know what? I like him, but he really is just there. It's like whenever like they need a bit of help to get out of a situation that's a little too grand for the group or Rentaro's family, or just there's like a quick gag or two, but he appears a little too little for me to like love him. So yeah, I think him being like in the last heart tier would, yeah, I like him. He's funny. I like his design. I like the Master Roshi reference that he did. So there's that. Rentaro, he's come on. It's Rentaro. He is the boyfriend. He is like the man. He is like I know there's all those memes about the Giga Chad and all that stuff, but like he really is like that perfect boyfriend, bro. Like I'm shocked 100 girls have like in his life have rejected him, because he goes far and beyond any boyfriend I've ever seen in any series. He's like one of the top tier boys in all of anime and manga. One of my favorites, at least. Absolutely find he's a complete joy. He's flawed. Like he's not super perfect. Like he does mistakes. He's weak at times. He's very funny. He can be pretty OP sometimes. He can literally end his creators if he so chooses, and he is even named the author himself, Nakamura, in the series. If Nakamura dares give the girls a bad ending. So he would be willing to do anything despite his limits as a human. So this guy is just a complete treat. Like always. I love everything he does for these girls. Okay, so now that we got the 2 dudes out of the way, because they're not girlfriends, now let's actually start. Hakari, the first girlfriend. She's very funny. Her whole thing is that she's extremely horny. That's like her whole thing, and she's very bold about it. she really wants to do super funky stuff with Rentaro, and it can be pretty funny sometimes. Sometimes it can be a little too much, but most of the time it's very entertaining. You know, I'll honestly put her in the 5 hearts. She's very entertaining. Her design is peak, honestly. Like, she's very good looking. Her design is very nice. She's very funny, and her dynamic with Karane is like the best out of all like the girlfriend dynamics between each other. So, you know, that gives her some extra points for sure. Oh, and I don't think I'm gonna have these in order because I think that might be a little too harsh. Maybe I'll do that near the end, but for now I'm just gonna place them on there just because. For now. Okay, so yeah, Hakari is a pretty entertaining pervert, I guess. Very interesting first girlfriend they came up with. Then, if you know me on Twitter, you know that lately my whole identity has pretty much been taken over by this character, Karane. Yeah, she is right next to Rentaro. She's probably my favorite girlfriend in this series. I love tsundere. Tsunderes are so entertaining. They're funny. They always have the cutest designs. I think that she's probably like the cutest tsundere design wise. I love her dynamic with Hakari, like I mentioned before, but especially her dynamic with Akko. Oh my goodness, that's probably my second favorite dynamic in the whole series, these two. So keep that in mind. So the yeah, they're like best friends, and I love their dynamic so much. Actually, I pretty much like her dynamic with everybody. Like Shizuka, she treats her as like she's like her guardian. She's like the straight man for all like the other ones, like Kusuri, Hahari especially, which is very funny. There's like a lot of good interaction she does by acting like the straight man of the group, the straightest man of the group, because there are others that kind of do that, like Kurumi at times, and Sue as well. But yeah, she's hands down my favorite. Super entertaining. And yeah, in terms of like the reason why I like her so much is because like like the whole point of this series is to get like tropes in like romance series and harems and to exaggerate them to like 11 out of 10, like super exaggerate them to the point that it's super absurd. And that's what kind of makes these characters fun to a point. I'll get to a couple of them that it can get a little too much, but with Karane, it feels like that tsundere exaggeration was so perfectly executed, and she just become one of my favorite characters ever. Like, just look through my Twitter account, you'll probably understand my obsession, but I absolutely adore this girl to death. Shizuka, the third girlfriend. This is the book nerd that can't really speak well, you know, through voice, so she uses an app to talk through books that Rentaro transcribed onto there so she can speak through words from books. It's very unique. She's a very unique girl. She's probably one of the most unique girlfriends in this whole list, which is interesting because she's only the third one. I love her design. It's super peak. Oh, and also I'll provide like images and stuff on the side up there somewhere, so just so you can see like some visuals of them, so it's not just me like rambling on here. But yeah, I absolutely adore her. She's probably one of the most adorable characters ever. Her dynamic with Nano, especially, like not her being Nano's weakness, is very funny to see. And recently Shizuka's dynamic with Meru, right? Is that her name? Meru? Yeah, sorry. Nemu. No, that's the sleeping one. Yeah, Meru. Sorry, I just recently binged like a bunch of these girlfriends right here back to back, so I'm still trying to remember their names correctly. So yeah, her dynamic with Meru is probably one of the most interesting ones because she's like all about fairy tales, and she's like a illustration book author, and you know, Shizuka's whole thing is with books, so they did this whole chapter of them together, like writing a book, and it was just super sweet. And also Shizuka has like some of the best arcs, especially with like her mother. That was some top tier stuff, some of the best stuff. I teared up. Easily goes right next to Karane for now. She's one of my favorites. I would have, if before I started my binge again in like the early 100s chapters, I probably would have put her like in the 4 hearts, high 4 hearts to low 5 hearts. But after all that I've read, totally deserves to be up here. Okay. Don't have much else to say about her. She's absolutely adorable. Okay, the fourth girlfriend, AI Nano. So yeah, her whole thing is that she is pretty much super efficient up to the point of being a machine, and she's also very beautiful. Very beautiful design. I love her silver hair, her reddish eyes. I love how efficient she is to a fault at times, and it can lead to some pretty funny situations, which also is why I love the dynamic with her and Shizuka, which is like one of her only weaknesses, and she breaks down very often because of her cuteness, and it's very funny to see. But lately, I say, if it wasn't for some of the latest chapters, I would have put her here. Probably. In like the, probably like middle, high 5 stars. But lately, those couple of chapters hit really hard. So I'm like, I'm going to have to put her in the 6 hearts as well. Like, I love. I should say that every time. Love times 6. Nano, because of those recent chapters. She has some great dynamics with Mimimi, which they're like portrayed as best friends. They grew up together. They were in the same middle school, and there was like this, I remember there was this beauty contest, and Nano won, and it like caused this strain, but then they made up later when they met in Rentaro's family, and ever since then they've been having some nice interactions, growing their friendship, and seeing Nano just break her wall further by, you know, continuing to foster her friendship with Mimimi is very nice to see. So, and it also has elevated Mimimi's character as well for me. Okay, fifth girlfriend, Kusuri. This is the, okay, so hear me out. Hear me out. I really like Kusuri. She's adorable. She has a little gremlin design. It's very entertaining. But in her 18-year-old form, like her, when she drinks the negation drug and it undoes her shrunk form, is very beautiful. One of the best designs in the series for sure. But I'll show it there. But her whole shtick is that she makes drugs, and these drugs are basically her whole gimmick, in that they most of the time cause the plot of the chapter. So she pretty much is just a plot device, but just exaggerated to the point that it's like, you know, super absurd. Like her whole thing is either just being super adorable and being very, like, you know, childlike with her kid form, or very voluptuous with her, and, you know, mommy vibes, in lack of a better term, with her grown form. And those drugs are like pretty much is what all these girls always have to get themselves in shenanigans when it comes to those drugs. She's very entertaining. She's funny. I would put her in the 4 hearts. She's great. Not much else to say. I just wish that when it comes to like her family, like Yaku, for example, where are you? Yaku here, and her parents, I wish that she would be shown more with like interacting with them, kind of look into it, because she hasn't had her big arc yet. Like Karane had her big arc with her family, which was fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite set of chapters. Hakari had hers with pretty much with her mom, but not like another one since then. I think Shizuka has had a couple, and Nano just recently had hers, which is what made me put her up here. So Kusuri, I think, possibly is going to be next, and if it ends up cooking very well, I could bump her up here to probably the 5 stars. But for now, I think that's fine there. She's like probably the weakest in the season 1 in the anime girlfriends for me, but I still think she's great. Then we have Hahari. Oh god, what can I say about this girl? Look, I'll just say it hands down. She is okay. I used to have Hahari in like my top 5, but as time grew on, her like whole shtick of being pretty much Hakari but horny turned up times 20 kind of got a little tiring, but it's still super funny. Like, it's still most of the jokes and most of like her weird attempts to do things still land pretty well. And I would have put her up here, but I think I'm gonna have to downgrade her because I have just met so many other like good, girlfriends. You know what? I'll just go ahead and say here, the 6 hearts, I'm going to have like the top 10 girls, and Rentaro, and everyone else is just gonna go down here. And I think that Hahari might have been booted out, so I'll just put her in the 5 hearts for now. Well, I already told you that I preferred Hahari because she's like, she's a MILF. She's a mom. She's very attractive. She's I would do anything for her, honestly, but her antics get a little much, honestly, especially when it comes to the girl here, which the anime actually cut in the 2nd season, much to my surprise and not surprise. But anyway, that next girl is like, oh yeah, this is like the season 1 girls right here. So as you can see, I think pretty highly of them, honestly. Yeah, that's pretty much what I think about the season 1 girls. I think, again, I might change things around, who knows. I'm gonna be here for a while. This is gonna be a long video. Okay, so now we have season 2 girls. So these 5 here. I'm honestly shocked they did not tease the next girlfriend after that. I thought they would. I was kind of counting on it because it'd be funny to see people's reaction, but oh well. So this is the season 2 girls now. We have the 7th girlfriend, Kurumi, which she is the 2nd tsundere now introduced. She is a foodie. So her whole thing is that she's extremely hungry, and it's always adorable seeing her like slobber over any mention of any food. Plus her tsundere act and reactions are some of the best. She used to be like in top 5 for me, but again, I've met a whole bunch of them since then, like a whole bunch of new girlfriends, and I think I have kind of knocked her down a bit. But I think she's also 666 hearts for now. Again, tsundere, I'm biased, but I think they do a really good job with her. Her design's really cute with the short hair and the hoodie. Really like that combination. Her, hair color's nice. Her obsession with food is really adorable, especially when she eats stuff. It's just, to die for. And yeah, I just really, oh yeah, and her straight man act is also, can be just as good as Karane's. Not as good, but, can be pretty entertaining quite a lot of the time. Okay, so then we have Mei, the 8th girlfriend. She is the maid of Hahari. So in Hahari Estate, she has a whole lot of maids. One of them is Mei. Her name is Mei. So that kind of gives it away, Meido. So she's very entertaining. I would probably put her also in the 4 hearts. She's very entertaining. I like some of her dynamics with some of the girls here. She basically acts like a lapdog because she's a maid and she takes orders all the time, and she takes them to heart, especially Hahari's. Like, she is absolutely obsessed with Hahari as a loyal maid, and it can be funny, but she also has some pretty endearing interactions with some of the girlfriends, like Aira, where they kind of like decided to spend a day together, and they reflected on each other's like will to act and courage versus cowardice, and it was very interesting. So Mei has some nice dynamics with a lot of these girls as she serves them, and her design's very cute. I love the rainbow eyes. They're very pretty. So her design, smash hit. You know what? I'm putting her in the 5 hearts, now that I'm thinking about it. But I'd probably still put these 2 over her for now. Okay, then we have the 9th girlfriend, Iku. Iku is your typical tomboy. There's your short hair. She's a part of the baseball club. The twist is that she's a masochist, and a gigantic masochist. She likes feeling pain to the extreme. It motivates her and it makes her feel good. A little too much. And a lot of, funny because a lot of the girlfriends here give her flack for that, but at the same time some actually encourage it and even participate in giving her that, pleasure. Like where are you? Like Rin here, for example. They're literally perfect for each other. This dynamic I absolutely adore so much. And Nano, it's funny, Nano sometimes just partakes in it because she's an AI and she's just like, yes, I will do it, and she just does it like in a robotic self, and it's always so funny. But I love her design. She's very cute. Her shtick doesn't get old. I've seen people get really tired of her, but personally, I still find her entertaining. I can understand people not being that into her because like her masochist stuff sometimes doesn't lead anywhere, but sometimes they can be really entertaining. But this is another one that I kind of just put in the 5 hearts. She's always entertaining. I don't know. I just find her really entertaining, and it just works for me personally, I guess. Then we have the 10th girlfriend, Mimimi Senpai. She is the beauty. Her whole thing is that she is an absolute beauty with a gigantic forehead and a big ego. She is narcissistic, but she is also very caring. So she's actually a pretty three-dimensional character. Really love some of her dynamics, especially with like Mei Mei here, because she finds her strangely like mysteriously beautiful, and she's always like how she's trying to like see her face so she can like finally see whether like, oh man, I want to see her true beauty or whatever. And I like her dynamic with Nano, where she seems like she's crushing on her, but at the same time it's kind of like an admiration because, as like a fellow beauty person, a beautiful person, she like aspires to become more beautiful because of Nano, and that kind of dynamic just helps grow her character. She's also just really sweet. She actually does really care for everyone in her own way, and sometimes they can be funny. And I love any time that her gag comes up with like her forehead. It's always funny. She's entertaining. I'll be honest, I would at first have put her like here, but no, I think I'm also gonna put her up in the 5 stars. She's become quite endearing for me. Actually, yeah, she's become quite endearing for me recently, and it's always entertaining to see her. Mei Mei, this is a tricky one. Okay, so this is the 11th girlfriend and the last one of season 2. She is extremely shy, and she cares more about her bangs being over her head or face rather than anything kind of risque that kind of happens to her, which happens often. Thanks to her kind of like assets, without a better way to say it. She is purposely designed to pretty much just like have a big focus on kind of her figure, and she's very conscious of it, and for some reason she cares more about her eyes being covered, which is kind of funny. And she has this ability to like vanish and leave behind one of her stitched or knitted dolls, which that's kind of her thing. She likes to knit things, and they're very cute. Like usually it's just like little stuffies of like the girlfriends or Rentaro, which she kind of is really obsessed with. She even has like this full grown stitched up thing of him, which she likes to cuddle with. She's actually a little freaky. She's a bit freaky, which is funny, but absolutely love her design. I know some people say that she has kind of like that hentai protagonist look, and I get that, but those are bums. This girl is precious, and I would do anything to protect her. Although I still think that she's probably like down here. For 4 hearts. I think she's great. Her design's great. Her gimmick of like being so shy that she teleports is entertaining when it happens, although it's been happening less often. But she has been like slowly breaking out of her mode more and more, wanting to help people, which she really likes doing. So I just need to see more of her. Hopefully There were recently a couple of like chapters dedicated to her where she helped Kurumi trying to find like some ice cream vending machine, which is really nice to see. And her trying to like help I forget who it was. Who was it? Himeka. Yeah, okay. Himeka, the singer. I remember she was helping her like with her singing practice, and that was also nice to see. You know what? I can't keep putting them in 5 hearts. Okay, I'll keep her there for now. Okay, we've left the... Okay, so this is about what I think about the Season 2 girls, by the way. As you can see, I don't think of them as highly as Season 1, but there are some really good ones in there, as you can see. Okay. Actually, I'll put her over Kasuri. Okay, so we've gotten to this point. Oh boy. Shiyo, she is the I kind of lost count. 12th girlfriend. Yeah, Shiyo. She is Rentaro's cousin. So whenever a season 3 happens, I know this is gonna get crazy, but yeah, the author and the artist decided to go there and even make like whole like meta jokes about like the editing department or the publication department like being weirdly okay with this, or thinking like there's some really thin lines being crossed here. And it can be funny, but like they kind of got over that, and they almost kind of forgot later on. Like she was just that character they had to add to the obscenity, to the absurdity of, oh no, we've added a cousin now. That's very crazy. And that used to be like her whole thing. But her whole gimmick is that she's very overbearing. She was kind of annoying with it. Like she would like headbutt people. She would dictate or like control any behaviors she deems unfit, or or just like what's the way to say it? She just like likes to police people's mannerisms and stuff, and it was kind of annoying. She's one of the ones I probably would have put like in a tier that isn't like liking them. But as it went on, her design, she also looked really goofy early on, but like later on the art style started changing. She looked a lot cuter, and she toned down that like control. She still does it, but it's kind of subtle and it's not as bad. She's started to like become more like open with the girls, and even like becoming kind of weird because she's one of the youngest ones here. She's in middle school, but she actually kind of just is pretty mature for her age, and kind of looks out for the less mature girls sometimes. And they kind of she's even like counseled Aira, which is like a college student, and she's taken her advice to heart. But she's become a lot more interesting, especially with that dog she recently adopted. That really elevated her character. And you know what, yeah, I would probably put her above God, actually, in the 2 hearts. I probably would have put her here beforehand, but she's growing on me more and more. Yeah, she's growing on me more and more, I would say. I would still need to see more of her, and I love her interactions with her uncle as well. Her uncle's really funny. He pretty much kind of looks like, obviously like Rentaro, but him kind of babying her and like being overprotective and kind of obsessed with his daughter can be kind of funny. Yeah, she's become a bit more interesting, especially with like her gimmick. Her gimmick is one of the ones that generally was just kind of, just annoying at some point, but she's grown on me. Then the 13th is Nadeshiko, or Natty. She is the English teacher at the high school that most of these girls go to. Perfect design. She is absolutely stunning. She's a teacher. That's a plus for me. Her whole gimmick is that she is a very, very traditional Japanese woman who wants to be a Yankee from the United States. Her whole shtick is that she wants to act super American. She is super obsessed with America, its culture and everything, and it's always funny. It's always entertaining. She's honestly one of my favorites. Easy 6 hearts. Like, I love her, man. She is so entertaining. She's absolutely stunning. Again, she's a teacher. I wish I was Rentaro during all those moments that he had with her. Oh my goodness gracious, what I wouldn't do to have someone like her. I love her so much. She's always so entertaining. Especially when she tries to speak English and she starts saying like swears and stuff by accident, especially the F. I can't say, but she's one of the most entertaining characters in this series for sure. Girlfriends, not character, girlfriend. Then the 14th girlfriend, Yamame. She is really underrated. I barely see people talking about this one. She is pretty much like the gentle giant. She is loved by the creatures all around. She's part of the gardening club. Her design's really cute. She has this green short hair. She's very tall. And, she towers over Rentaro. And I love that tall and short dynamic. I always love that dynamic within, like, either if it's, like, short girl and tall guy or short guy and tall girl. I always love that dynamic. She's so humble. She's gentle. And her naivety, because of that, also leads to a lot of funny shenanigans, especially with Hakari. Because Hakari likes to exploit Yamame's assets to like do things, and Yamame kind of rolls with it because she doesn't know any better. I wish she did, but it can be very entertaining. She's such a lovely girlfriend. I would put her probably in the 4 hearts. I just need to see more of her. Like, give me like a more of her backstory. But she's very entertaining. I really love her as well. She's very nice. Now, one I absolutely adore here is Momiji. She's the 15th girlfriend. Her whole shtick is that she likes to grope. She likes to grope girls. She likes the softness of them. She like fluffy, whatever you want to call it. That's her whole thing. Her hands are weapons against cute girls. So she even has something called like grope energy or gropergy, and she needs it to function, which is a very funny way to kind of like take this kind of character that likes groping things to the extreme. Very entertaining. I also put her up in the 5 hearts. Her design is also really cute. She's like this little gremlin with like a bun, and I love the purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors, so I love her eyes and her hair color. Very cute, very adorable. She also recently had like this chapter dedicated to her where her doctor said that she couldn't grope, which is very funny, but it actually turned a bit serious because if she groped again, she wouldn't be able to do it anymore. So the way they're treating it so seriously was pretty funny and pretty endearing, and it made me like her quite a lot more than I did before. I think I have an idea where I'd push her up to, but for now I'd keep her there. Okay, yeah. I sometimes lose count because there's so many of these, but I think this is 16. Okay, number 16, Yaku. Oh, Yaku. She is Kusuri's grandma, and she's 89. But the reason she looks like that is because Kusuri's nonstop experimentation with her drugs, and it's caused her family to forever look like, little kids. Even though she's really, really old, she's the oldest by a long mile here, and she's one of the best ones. I love especially her dynamic with Natty, because Natty's like the super Yankee Japanese girl, and that does not translate to the super like much older traditional grandma in the group, where she doesn't understand like most of the stuff that she says, and it's always funny. She doesn't understand most of the stuff or concepts that these people bring up, and it's very funny. But she pretty much displays the most maturity because of her age, and it leads to a lot of good interactions and growth between the characters. And she's one of my favorites, hands down. She's also just so cute. Like, she has a lot of panels of her just being absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, love Yaku so much. Yeah, I clearly prefer Yaku way more than Kusuri. I'm sorry, Kusuri fans. Yaku is just Kusuri but better. Alright, 17th, right? Yeah. Kishika. She is the Kendo Club, right? Sorry, it's just I took some notes because there's so many girls here. Yeah, okay, she's the part of the Kendo Club. And president, I think. And I love her design. And I love hairs that are tied back. I love her chivalry that she often shows with the other girls. That she often shows with the other girls, and Rentaro especially. But her whole thing is that she has like mommy issues. So here's what happens. Pretty much Kishika grew up taking care of like a lot of her siblings. I forgot the exact count, but because of that, she didn't have much because the family, her parents weren't really around, as they like worked a lot, and she needed to take care of them a lot. So she really yearned for that connection of a parental figure, and that kind of turned into a weird obsession where it kind of like satisfies her in that way, where she like plays clips of motherly voices consoling her and stuff. And you know, you can kind of imagine there's already a bunch of characters that kind of give her that rush. Rentaro sometimes triggers it. She turns into a complete baby. It's always really funny. Especially Hahari seems to be the one that especially loves triggering it, of course. There's also, let me see. Yeah, I think mostly it's just Rentaro and Hahari that seem to trigger it, but yeah, she's that complete 180 from her being this, like chivalrous, brave, strong, woman to like this babied girl with mommy problems. It's pretty funny. So I find her pretty entertaining. I would probably also put her in the 4 stars. She has gotten some nice developments with Rentaro alone in like the later half of the series, thankfully, which kind of elevates her a bit more. I'll see where I put her from here. Okay, let's see. Actually, no. I was starting to do adjustments in my head. Not yet. Okay. Number 18, right? 18 is Ako, or Ashi. So she is called herself Ako. She is a Gyaru. Everyone loves Gyarus, right? Well, guess what? This is probably my favorite Gyaru in all of anime and manga. I absolutely adore this girl. Yeah, she's going easy. Easy 6 hearts. She's one of my favorites. Hands down. She is one of the most precious creatures ever to grace fiction. I want to do anything in my power to just keep her safe, protected, and loved at all times. She's super precious. Her design is absolutely one of the best, like top 5 designs. She is just so precious, and her dynamic, like I mentioned before earlier in the video with Karane, it's just like second to none when it comes to like dynamics in the series. She's also just really sweet with everyone. Her chapters for Rentaro are always the sweetest. She would literally just give you a sugar rush. Well, her whole thing is that she has low blood pressure, low blood pressure, which kind of causes this kind of like ever never-ending smile that she has, and it kind of makes people think that she doesn't take things seriously, but she can't help it. And because of that low blood pressure, she can't really express emotions well, and it's also it leads to her just making some of the most cutest reactions and stuff ever. But yeah, I absolutely adore her so much. One of the most precious girls in a series ever, hands down. And that can kind of be applied to the next one too. Number 19, Uto. Also 6 hearts. Oh my goodness. How many am I at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I still haven't gotten the top 10 yet, so I can deliberate this. Okay, so yeah, Uto. Again, one of my favorite designs in the series. I love her sparkling hair. I love she basically is like a self-proclaimed bard. And she takes that role to heart. That role play she does. She takes it to heart, and it always leads to the funniest reactions in the series, honestly. She likes being, she sometimes just expresses, like, satisfaction silently with, like, text boxes, and that's really funny. Whenever she does get flustered, it's super adorable, because she kind of stays, kind of poker-faced a lot, too, and she yaps. Some people don't like that. She yaps about literally nothing. Literally nothing. She doesn't yap about anything. She just goes on and on and on about repeating phrases, not saying anything meaningful with them, but it's so entertaining. And she also sucks at the ocarina, which, she's a bard, so she of course has to have her instrument, and she's horrible at it too. she's honestly just perfect. I love her so much. She's so entertaining. Then comes Mai. So this is another maid that works, the 20th girlfriend, yeah, I said that. So this is another maid that works in Hahari's estate. She's a maid as well there, and she is the self-proclaimed little sister of Mei. And she's very, very obsessed with Mei, similar to how Mei is pretty much obsessed with Hahari loyally. But this obsession is a little more annoying because she basically comes off as absolutely rude to everyone sometimes because of it. She treats everyone pretty bad sometimes. But, she is basically just your this series' third tsundere. So we have a third tsundere, and I think this one is the one that kind of misses the mark for me. I would probably put her here though, as she has grown on me quite a bit since then. She had this fantastic chapter with Momoha where she needed to do her I think it's like a yearly a maid exam, so that she can like continue to work as a maid, but also be able to keep attending to Rentaro's family at the school. And Momoha and her like kind of just helped each other out and to get through the exam, and it made me like her character a whole lot more. Yeah, definitely. But she's still, I don't know, I'm not as fond of the way that she treats literally her boyfriend Rentaro. She like, I know I'm being a hypocrite because Karane, her whole thing is but like the thing is, that's her whole thing. She is just a really exaggerated tsundere, so to me that's fine. I give a pass to that, and I find it really entertaining. Plus, she is very remorseful for her actions. Mine, not as much. She is simply just a jerk just because most of the time, and I don't know. I do find her entertaining, and she's grown on me over time. But her kind of sister complex, because again, they're not related. She just thinks that she's her little sister, and it kind of gets annoying at times. Especially when Mei just does not care at all for that kind of like advancement whatsoever and doesn't notice it. But I'll put her there for now. I do like her design, so it's better than Shijo's design at least. But I'll see where I put her after that. Okay, so the 21st is Momoha. Okay, so man, I love this girl. Even from her introduction, she was so entertaining. She is the school's ethics teacher, and probably knowing how absurd this series is, yeah, she's the ethics teacher, and she is a gambling drunk as well. She sleeps outside the school as well, which is really funny. She is the most attractive character in the series, hands down. In my opinion, she's perfect. I love her. I love everything about her. I can fix her. I can do anything for her. Please marry me. Okay, besides that, Yeah, putting that aside, yeah, she's just really entertaining. Her drunkenness can add to like a whole lot of flavor to the interactions here. She has she has funny interactions with Karane because Karane's kind of obsessed with, you know, she's a bit more lacking here, so she kind of gets drawn to Chess, and that kind of leads to some funny interactions with Momoha. Momoha kind of, like I said, that chapter with Mai, which is pretty good. Shiyo has some nice moments with her as well from time to time. So yeah, she kind of just mixes well with everybody, which is a plus. And again, peak design, peak characteristics. I just adore it to death. I don't know, I love drunk girls, and I think like they perfected it here. Momoha, I love you so much. Okay, then we have girlfriend number 22, Rin Bio. So, very interesting name. So she is a violin player. She likes music, and that's where the Rin comes from, violin. But Bio, if you like basically mix the name up, Bio Rin, so violin, but it can also be violent because she is the opposite of Iku. She is a complete sadist. Absolutely. She loves pain, she loves gore, she loves horror movies, she loves scary things. And she makes some of the best faces in the series. She has shark teeth, she's very pretty, so she is automatically one of the best designed girlfriends in the series. Absolutely adore her. Her dynamic with Iku is perfect. Again, like I said earlier, they're made for each other. And Karane and Rin also had some nice moments as well. Oh, and also recently, Nemu, they seem to be getting along because they like horror stuff, which is really nice to see. I like that sometimes these new girls are introduced and they give them aspects that would connect to like earlier girlfriends, like that with Nemu and Rin being able to connect through horror stuff, which is really nice. I love everything about Rin. Yeah, I put her in the 5 stars. I mean, not stars. The 5 hearts. Sorry, it's like really late right now, so I'm kind of trying to keep myself together here. We're almost there. Okay, I keep losing count in my mind. I don't know how. Okay, the 23rd girlfriend. Uh-oh. Here's another one that I would have had a tier that was dislike. But because she's grown on me recently, I can at least do that first part. Like, I like her, okay? I like her. I really like her. I forgot to like kind of name these, you know. This is I love her, really love her, really love her, and then it's like love her the most or love them the most, you know, whatever. I just try to very quickly name these, but anyway. Yeah, Sue, Hifumi Sue, which her name is actually perfect. She was introduced in the 123rd chapter, which, you know, 1, 2, 3, and her name does pretty much say 1, 2, 3, and her birthday is on January 23rd. So it's kind of like that perfect naming convention that you know, the Nakamura is so great for with like naming. I haven't really mentioned that aspect in a lot of these characters. Like for example, Karane's name is kind of named of like the usual sounds that you would hear a tsundere make, and that's what makes her name, which is like, you know, perfect stuff like that. But hers is actually one of my favorite naming wise, because of that. But as a character, she's pretty much another straight man, like, you know, Karane or Kurumi or Shiyo. But I think she just kind of just does it the worst. Because her whole thing, her gimmick is probably the most like abstract out of them all. She is obsessed with numbers, and you know, some people are just like mathematicians and stuff. They're obsessed with numbers, but like her, it comes to a point that it's like numberphilia. She's that into numbers. And while that in itself, like her introduction chapter was pretty funny, the way Rentaro like would bend her body up to like make numbers, and it kind of made her fall in love with him. Really funny. But then afterwards, it kind of just became a tiring gimmick for me, because it's just a little too out there. If some can understand what I'm saying. But again, she started to grow on me, and it has had some nice um implications here and there, like implementations. I mean, with like Akko, she vibes very well with Sue, which she kind of like is her caretaker. There's this funny thing where she like, you know, does the pain go away, and something cute like that is just enough to kind of make me like her a little bit more, because she feels like she relies on that, and it kind of makes her a little endearing. Can't think of much else to say, honestly. She's just kind of acts like a little too much of a straight man, to the point that it got annoying. But again, she's grown on me, and some of her straight man lines have actually been funny at times, so I will give her that. Again, I like her. Okay, now we have number 24. Man, I love this girl so much. Wait, how many are in the 6-star? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh boy, something's gonna have to change here, because I think I'm getting close to probably having another one enter there. Aira. Okay, I like Aira. Pretty much her name is derived off of capoeira. That's like that Brazilian style, you know, kind of style of fighting with your kind of movement, and it's like it's a whole thing. And you know, I don't know much about it myself, but that's, yeah, she's half Brazilian, and she's a college girl, and she's absolutely gorgeous. She's one of the, you know, again, like Momoha, she's one of the best looking girls. And I like her dynamic a lot with a lot of the girls, especially Shijo. She has a very nice connection with Shijo, where Shijo kind of acts as her counselor despite being so much younger than her. Her whole thing is that she made, again, it's kind of like Kishika, but I think better. Like, where she is like this strong, beautiful, like reliant woman, but she is super scared to death of things she can't take out with a physical attack. So like, let's say if you mention, someone sneezed, it's like, and she kind of like rolls onto the ground absolutely terrified, because she can't take out the particles and the germs with a punch or something. And it's that, again, it's that 180 aspect that is just so funny to me, and she's really endearing. She's had some nice moments, like with May here and some of the other girls as well, that she kind of looks out for them, and they kind of look out for her. And she's just drop dead gorgeous, man. But I'd put her in the 5 hearts easily. Yeah, she's up there. Oh boy, this one's interesting. Tama. Tama is the 25th girlfriend, right? Yeah. Her whole shtick is that she was like a working lady. Yeah, she's one of the older ones. I think she's like 25 or something, 26. I cannot remember correctly, but she's like a grown woman that's working, and she got completely fed up with it, up to the point that she had almost wanted to die because of it. So instead, she decided to become a cat. She renounced her humanity in order to become a free, lazing, you know, responsible free cat. And I guess she's a neko. But she, again, her design absolutely perfect. Again, one of my favorite designs. They nailed her like cat aesthetic. She has a nice like dynamics with a lot of them, like Yaku. She kind of uses Yaku as like her personal lap, which is funny and adorable. They all kind of spoil her, you know, Hahari as well. There's like a whole chapter of Hahari letting her stay at her house as like a pet cat, which is funny. But yeah, I like how she is pretty much the family's pet. The Rentaro's family's pet. Absolutely, she's gorgeous. She has a lot of funny moments, so I find her pretty entertaining. That's another one in the 5 hearts. I absolutely love her. Oh boy, my voice is getting shot, but I'm getting there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. Almost there. Okay, so we're at girlfriend number 26. Himeka Saiki, or Kiki, as I like to, as some call her. So Kiki, she is this, very pretty. I love. Also, one of my favorite designs. I love her, like the shine in her eyes. I love the sparkle that's on her hair because she's like a star, and she's a very talented singer. But her whole thing is that she is absolutely obsessed with being abnormal. An abnormal talent. She wants to be seen as weird as possible, and again, it's a funny gimmick. It works very well. It often leads to a whole lot of like nice interactions with the girls. One that just happened like in the latest chapter, number 211, where she was talking with Meru. I'm sorry, I'm trying to still memorize these names. About her whole thing is fairy tales, and she's like, wait a minute, these fairy tales she always talks about, it almost is like, and she describes me as like that as well, so maybe that makes me abnormal because I'm like a fairy tale. And her track record is just always going back to fairy tales. I mean, not fairy, I'm sorry, I'm getting my girlfriends mixed up. Her whole thing is always wanted to be seen as abnormal, and she would do absolutely everything to be seen as such, and it's always entertaining. Again, another 5 hearts. Again, this cast is just really solid to me. I don't think I'd have this many like characters in a series like way up here, but that's just kind of the testament. Like this is already 10 up here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Yeah. So that's quite a bit. Okay. Then girlfriend number 27 is Matsuri. She is a she's like half English, or at least in the English text she's portrayed as like having this very very heavy English accent, and it's very funny. She's basically like a gothic Lolita, that kind of style of gothic. She's like the small girl, and she wears this gothic clothing. It's kind of like that style, that fashion, and yeah, her design is just really adorable. And she's obsessed. Her thing is that she's completely obsessed with festivals, and I will admit I really love her, but not as much probably as all the ones above. I find her entertaining, but I just feel like she hasn't completely wowed me. I just find her really adorable. Some of like the daily life chapters where she's just hanging out with like Rentaro in different getups, like where she ties her hair back and everything, I want to see more of that side of her, and maybe I can boost her up. So for now, I'll have her in 4 hearts. Number 28 is Usa. Her on the other hand, she's very entertaining. I feel like this probably would. I can see online that she seems to be a bit of a hit or miss girlfriend. Her whole thing is that she is deathly afraid of being alone, to the point where she feels like she would literally die by desolation. And she's shown many times literally, dying, blood dripping from her mouth and everything, because she could not just save her life, find someone to like be associated with. She wants to be with people at all times, all the time, in order for her to feel whole, to feel like wanted, for her to feel, for her purpose to be fulfilled. She just wants to be surrounded by people, and she saw this family, Rentaro's family, and she wanted to do nothing but to join it. Her introductory chapter was so funny, where she like pretended to like be a part of the family, and everyone kind of caught on slowly. And then Rentaro's just like, who are you? And it's like, I knew it. Everyone's like, yeah, I knew it. It was so funny. But yeah, I like her super attachment to the girls. Pretty entertaining. I'd put her like in probably the lower end of the 5 hearts. Her design is literally one of the best as well. She's absolutely stunning. I love her design. She's kind of like a rabbit, which kind of makes sense with her like obsession with wanting to be with people all the time. Sorry, there was just a bug right there. But so it kind of makes sense that they portray her as a rabbit. Oh man. Okay, couple more. We have Meru. Oh man, Meru. I always heard many things while keeping up with this manga about Meru. One of the best designs, like top 5. I love her eerie, dead black hole eyes, that eerie smile that she has. That honestly kind of looks frog-like in my opinion. And you know, like just that dark aura, that hat that she also wears. I'm biased with girls that wear that kind of hat. Okay, so her design absolutely peak. And even though she looks frightening, she's actually probably one of the sweetest people in this whole family, and I just find that super endearing. Oh yeah, easy. I'll put her in the 6 hearts. By the way, she's one of my favorites already, even though I haven't known her for long. But yeah, she trying to think here. Her whole thing is that yeah, she used to be like very bright. She with the world, she was filled with hopes and dreams, and she loved humanity. But then she figured out the despair that the world actually has and the darkness, and it kind of, that's why her face just kind of darkened and she looks so terrifying. It's because it's kind of like that light left her eyes, you know, that kind of saying or metaphor. And she strives to basically become this fairy tale artist and writer, because she feels that fairy tales are like the salvation to people in despair and stuff. And that dynamic has already, even though I haven't known her for long, has already resonated so well with so many of the girls, especially Shizuka, like I mentioned way earlier in the video. It's just she's so well written. She already has so many nice moments. I absolutely adore her. I'm actually kind of obsessed with this girl. She is just like, wow. Like this, we're already this late into the game. She's number 29, and I'm like, okay, I didn't think I was going to get one that was probably going to become a favorite again, but like, here she is. She definitely filled that role for me. Okay, so then we have number 31. Number 30, Saki. Now she kind of tones it back a bit from Meru, but I still really like her. Her introduction chapter is really adorable. She is basically a repeater year in the high school. She's supposed to have been graduated, so she's a third year, already 18, and she decided to repeat the third year so that she can be the oldest among everybody. That's it. She likes being the senior. She revels in the chance that she finds someone that acknowledges her as her senior, and it's really adorable. She's really funny. And her dynamics with like the younger people, like Matsuri refuses to like Haru Senpai, and they have like this back and forth about it. And she like, of course, melts when it comes to someone acknowledging her as such. Yeah, I think that's probably another one that I'd put in the 5 hearts, but probably in the lower end of 5 hearts. I need to see more of her, but oh yeah, and her design is absolutely peak as well. I love her delinquent getup. It's so good, and her hair and everything. I'm like, yeah, this is fantastic design. Okay. Oh man. Okay, 2 more. Now we have Nemu. Her whole thing is that she pretty much is like someone that likes to sleep a lot and doesn't get enough sleep. So she always like in her, like, by the way, her design, I absolutely adore her design. She's very cute. But yeah, her whole thing is that she really likes to sleep, but she doesn't get enough sleep. And when she does sleep, she's one of those sleepwalkers. But she's more than that. You know, this is a manga about the absurd tropes being completely, you know, we've seen those characters that like to sleep on their desk and stuff, you know, those characters in these high school series. Or her, instead of just being like that, she becomes like a sleepwalker that can literally do any task possible, and she dreams about that. She thinks of it as a dream when she wakes up, and she's like, oh, I dreamt that I did this and this, when she actually did. And it's been pretty entertaining so far. I really like her. But yeah, she's also like a shoemaker, and like she helps her grandparents run a shoe shop. And when she falls asleep, she like knows how to perfectly make shoes. And she thinks it's like shoe elves that come out to help, and it's really cute. I find her really adorable. I think I'd also, but I'd put her here. But I think her dynamic with Rin, like I explained before, with them like connecting through horror movies and stuff. It's really nice. And also she has like a nice in the newest chapter 211, she has the thing with Tama where she likes to find nap spots, and I don't know, I really like that. That's really adorable. We finally made it to the latest one. Okay, so this one is a 32nd girlfriend, Hasuha. She's like a great detective. She likes solving mysteries ever since she was young. And she kind of does it by using her sense of smell. She kind of looks like a dog in her art, so that's kind of how they portray her as. She has a very heightened sense of smell. But the weird part is that it's almost a, it's almost a fetish. It always has to be something like that with these girls. So she really likes sniffing things quite a bit. And to the point where like she gets off by it, and it's led to some cute interactions here and there, but again, I literally just met her and she hasn't been around that much, only like a volume's worth, so I need to see more of her. But for now, I'd probably put her down here. Oh my goodness, here we go. Now, let me go ahead and probably second guess some of these. I think I have my 10 up here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I think this is my top 10 right here. I would probably put Kurumi at the bottom. Nemu. Possibly third. Ako second. Shizuka fourth, yeah. Momoha fifth. No, wait, I'd put Nano at the bottom of S. I'd put Uto sixth. I think that's good. Okay. I think this tier here is good. Okay, now for the 5 hearts. I think I would leave her at the top of 5 hearts just because she's just a little too much sometimes. But again, peak design, I'd do anything for Mamari, as I sometimes like to call her. Hakari, May. Some of these are kind of tough. That recent chapter she had with like the doctor not groping, I think I'd put her quite higher, probably. That's kind of a bold thing for me to say. A-Ra I'd also put way up there. Actually, I'd probably put A-Ra over Momiji. I'd probably put Hikari over Momiji. You know what? I'm gonna knock down Hikari a few pegs. I think that's fine. Iku, Mimimi, I'd probably put Mimimi over her. Tama, I think I'm gonna bump quite a bit up. I don't know. I just really vibe with her quite a bit. Let's see, I think I'll leave these two here. I'll leave Shiyo here. These two are fine here. These are fine here. I think, I know, I'd probably bump Kusura at the bottom. Kishika, I'd bump at the top of this tier. I think that's good. No, Yamame I would put right underneath. Okay. And I think these two, I would, yeah, I'd put these two here for now. Okay, Usa. This is tough. Iku. I guess she has kind of dropped down on me lately. I'd probably drop her at the bottom of the 4 hearts. Because she hasn't absolutely wowed me lately. Although we have lately learned that Yamame, Iku, and Hazuha are in the same class. And that kind of helps her case. Oh man. Okay. Again, I think I'm set here in one heart. Again, I like you. But you can be a little annoying, but you've kind of grown on me. Same thing with Shijo, but to a greater extent. Hazuha just hasn't made that much of an impression on me. Actually, I might put her above Mai. Yeah. Kusuri, she hasn't gone to the point that I'd put her down there, but yeah, I'd leave her there. Matsuri, I think it's probably fine there. Mei Mei, yeah. Probably put Mei Mei over Mats. No. Ugh, this is tough. I'm telling you, this is tough. Nemu, okay. Maybe I'll put Nemu down. No. I think this is good. Yeah. I think this might be good. Trying to just double check. Okay. Actually, I think I'm actually preferring Eira over Hahari. And I'd probably put Tama still over Momiji. Okay, I think we're set. Okay, so... Alright. We have the 1 heart tier with these two. Sorry, God. The 2 hearts. Sorry, Shijo. 3 hearts. Yeah, with these 2. 4 hearts with these 6 here. The 5 hearts, which is like the biggest chunk. But I honestly would probably put a couple more of these up there, but I kind of just wanted to keep it strictly 10 girls up here. So I'd probably put like these 3 up there as well if I didn't have that. But then the 6 hearts, basically, you know what, I might switch out Eira for Nano. Okay, I think I'll leave it at that. I think that's good. Okay, so I think this is my 100 girlfriends tier list as of 32 girlfriends plus God and Rentaro. And yeah, whew, man, I think I've been doing this for a while now, huh? Gotta go all out for the, not all out, but gotta really tire myself out for the 200th video. And here's to another 200 chapters more of 100 girlfriends. And if you watch this without even really knowing this or not really being that into it, sorry if I spoiled you quite a bit, but I really recommend you to try it. And yeah, I don't know if you'd want to comment what your list would be or something, but yeah, I think this is my list. And okay. There we go. Just one slight adjustment. Okay, so oh wait. Yeah, I'm thinking of switching these 2 because Kurumi has kind of fallen onto the white side tsundere wise, and she doesn't really do as much for me anymore, but I'd still put her like right there. Okay, now I think it's set. I think this is my top 10. Okay, my top 10 here, and the ones I absolutely adore, the ones I really love, really like, and like, I like you, but you're like, you know, kind of pushing it. Same thing with, you know, God. You know what? There we go. You were gonna be down there by yourself. Okay, yeah, there we go. So if you like this, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing with like cutting out a bunch of the gaps and stops that I had to do throughout this. There's a lot of them, by the way. You're not gonna see it in the end portion, but and I'll also try to like provide visuals and stuff. Yeah, that's it, and hope you enjoyed that. That was a pretty tiring tier list, and I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully, the 33rd girlfriend will be entertaining as well. Bye. Okay, post editing pie here. Okay, I kind of realized that I probably might have messed up some of these. I don't know why. It's like me coming back hours later. I don't know why I bumped Iku down, but I still absolutely adore her. Same thing with Kishika. Like I pretty much still like Kishika more than a couple of these. And Kiki, I would actually put much higher. I think. Like here. Nemu, I still need to see more of. Same thing with Saki. Yamame, I bump up here as well. Probably above. No, I think she would be at the bottom of the 5 hearts. Okay, there we go. These I would still keep the same. Stupid ad, get out of here. Okay, this I'd keep the same. This I'd keep the same. This I'd keep the same. These 3, Matsuri really does have like a big impression. You know what? Screw it. No. I think this is fine. I think this is fine here. Yeah. Okay. Now I think it's all good. Okay. I just keep making adjustments. I get okay. I guess the video's just gonna go on longer now than I thought. I guess thanks for watching past the outro. Okay. No. Guess like as a girlfriend, I still kind of prefer Kurumi over Nano. I think I might just start like sticking girls up here, even though it's like more than the 10. Or do I just do 10 each? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. And then these would all go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'd probably bump this one up to here. Okay, no. I think this might actually be it. I just keep making adjustments. Hikari is kind of like losing it for me. I might prefer Biorin a little more. I may prefer a little bit more. No. Writing wise, I'd say that she's fine there. Okay. I think this sounds right. I'll put May at the bottom of 5 hearts. I think that should be fine. 5 hearts. Okay. Oh, I think that should finally be it. Matsuri, I don't know. Again, I really like her. I really loved her introduction chapter. That like Infinite Festival chapter was pretty entertaining as well. her Jadaf Sod phrase is funny. But when it comes to like the little ones, I kind of just phrase it into more with like Kurumi, Momiji, Biorin. I think those are like the little, those are the middle schoolers. Oh, and I guess I vibed more with Matsuri than Shijo, so there's that. Do I bump up Matsuri? Oh, God. Okay. There we go. And I might prefer. There we go. You know what? In fact, I'm bumping May down to here. There you go. I think this is fine. Here we go. I think I'm good now. Now let me just say again, thank you for watching this extra bit. If you didn't automatically sign off the video, thank you so much for sticking with me. And God, I hope that in like another couple hours now, while I'm editing this, keep editing this, I don't make like another quick adjustment. Hopefully this is it. Nope. I already made my decision. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. It go a long way. Trust me. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe and like, and share this around. I don't know. Share it around the 100 Girlfriends community. I guess if you know if they wanna see this, some random nobody's thoughts on the girls. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Sorry. One more adjustment. There we go. One more adjustment. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. I just wanted to bump her in a little bit more. That's it. I promise that's it.